When people mention the Arkham trilogy, they're most likely referring to Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. That's the definitive trilogy. And while technically, yeah, there are 4, or I guess 5 Arkham games now, if you want to include the VR game that dropped in 2024. But let's keep it real. Arkham Origins has always lived in this weird limbo space where it's included but not necessarily embraced. Most of the time, it's looked at as the black sheep or the middle child of the franchise, not really getting the attention or the praise it deserves. And I've never really agreed with that take. So today, I want to talk about what I'll call the Arkham trilogy, not because I'm ignoring Knight.
Who's in? No, not you, Seamus. Ah, poo.
But because I think Asylum, City, and Origins form a really creative and cohesive story that doesn't get talked about enough. And more importantly, I want to talk about why Arkham Origins is wildly overhated and why in some ways it might be one of the most underrated Batman stories we've ever gotten in games. But before we get into that, if you enjoy the video at any point, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate it and it helps the channel out a lot. Now with my shameless plug out of the way, let's get into the video. Now I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't understand why people call it a trilogy. Rocksteady made Asylum, City, and Knight. Same studio, same vision, same Batman. The same Joker relationship evolving over time. It's neat and easy to package. A beginning, a middle, and an end. Origins breaks that pattern. Different studio, a prequel instead of a sequel, different voice actors, RIP Kevin Conroy, my definitive voice for Batman, and a pretty rough release. And for a lot of people, it's just easier to go, yeah, that one doesn't really count. But here's the problem with that mindset. Origins didn't fail because it was bad, it failed because it wasn't Rocksteady, and those are two very different things. Arkham Asylum is where it all starts, and honestly, 17 years later, the game still looks fantastic. It's smaller, tighter, more claustrophobic, almost horror adjacent at times. Batman feels powerful, but not invincible. The combat is slower, more deliberate, and the environment does a lot of the storytelling. And tone-wise, Asylum absolutely nails it. This version of Batman feels isolated, trapped in a sense. Joker is everywhere without always being present. The Asylum itself feels alive, decaying, hostile, and unwell. Asylum isn't trying to be a blockbuster, it's trying to feel like you've stepped into a Batman comic with you manning the controls. And that foundation is everything. Now we jump into Arkham City, which takes that foundation and expands it without losing its identity. The city is larger, more open, and more dangerous. Batman feels like a legend here, someone criminals fear but don't fully understand. You overhear thugs talking about him like he's a myth.
Man, I just can't believe you're so scared of a man dressed up like every night is Halloween. He's probably just an urban myth.
Urban myth? A freaking urban myth?
And the story leans into tragedy. This is Batman at his peak, but also at his most burdened. He saves the city, but at what cost? Victory never feels clean. City understands Batman as both a hero and a symbol, and it balances spectacle with character incredibly well. And for a lot of people, this is the high point of the series, and it's hard to argue against that. And then there's Arkham Origins, the game that feels like it has to defend its own existence. Origins came out in a tough spot. It followed Arkham City, and instead of reinventing everything, it redefined what already worked. Same engine, same mechanics, familiar structure. And the immediate reaction from most fans was disappointment. It's just more Arkham City, it's buggy, it doesn't push anything forward.
You fucking suck!
Wow!
You suck! Understatement.
Okay, that last one may have been an exaggeration, but my point still stands. And yes, at launch, it most definitely had issues, bugs, glitches, and technical problems. But that critique has always felt disproportionate, because what major game from that era didn't launch with problems? We've forgiven a lot worse over time. Yes, I'm looking at you, Cyberpunk 2077. That's $70 I'm never getting back. My bad, I didn't mean to spaz right there. But we forgive games like that, but don't give Arkham Origins the second look it deserves. What makes Arkham Origins special is its story. This is Batman early in his career, still angry, still reckless, still trying to figure out what kind of symbol he wants to be. The GCPD hunts him like he's on the FBI most wanted list. Alfred questions him as if he's still that kid who lost his parents in that alley. Gordon doesn't trust him, and that friction is the point. Batman isn't respected yet. He's tolerated at best and hated at worst. That tension gives the story emotional weight that the later games, by design, don't really need. And the Joker dynamic here is arguably the most personal in the series. This isn't about history, it's about recognition. Joker sees Batman as his equal, someone just as crazy as him, someone worth fixating on, and Batman slowly realizes what this means for his future. It's intimate in a way none of the other Arkham stories quite match. This next section is where Arkham Origins deserves way more credit. The boss fights are phenomenal. Deathstroke alone puts Origins in elite territory. It's not a gimmick fight, it's not a cinematic spectacle, it's a test of timing, awareness, and skill. It feels like Batman's fighting an equal. Bane is also handled better here than anywhere else in the series. He's intelligent, strategic, genuinely terrifying, actually feeling like his comic book counterpart, matching Batman in both wit and strength, not just a brute with venom. And we don't talk about the T1 boss fight at the end. We don't talk about that. Even fights like Firefly and Copperhead add variety and creativity that the later games sometimes replaced with tank battles or stealth gimmicks. Origins understood that boss fights should feel personal, not just flashy. Also, can we talk about the Christmas setting? Snow-covered Gotham at night, neon lights reflecting off ice, empty streets, quiet rooftops, distant sirens. The atmosphere does so much heavy lifting. It makes the city feel cold, isolated, and hostile. You really feel like Batman is alone out there, which fits perfectly for this stage of his career. Traversing rooftops while snow falls slows the pace and adds atmosphere in a way the other games don't really attempt, of course with Arkham Knight being the sole exception. It gives Origins its own swag. It doesn't feel like a reskin, it feels like a different season of Gotham. Now, to be clear, Arkham Knight does a lot right. It's visually stunning, the combat is the smoothest it's ever been, Gotham feels massive and alive, and thematically, Knight is about fear, legacy, and the cost of being Batman. Those ideas matter. Where Knight stumbles a bit is balance. The Batmobile, while cool in concept, sometimes overwhelms the experience. Some story twists don't land as hard as they should, and certain character arcs feel rushed or underexplored. But Knight still feels like a proper send-off. It feels like Rocksteady saying goodbye to their version of Batman. It's not bad, it's just different, in a good way. Arkham Origins didn't fail. It just didn't tickle testicles the same way City did. And sometimes fandoms decide early what a thing is and never really revisit that opinion. Origins got labeled as the lesser one, and that label stuck, even though the game itself doesn't deserve it. It's thoughtful, character-driven, atmospheric, and deeply respectful to the character of Batman. At the end of the day, the Arkham games didn't just give us great Batman gameplay, they gave us a complete Batman experience. From being trapped in the asylum, to ruling the streets of Gotham, to facing the end of the cowl itself. And yeah, Arkham Origins might not have had the smoothest launch or the Rocksteady logo slapped on the front, but it understood Batman in a way people still to this day overlook. It gave us a Batman who was still figuring things out, a Gotham that didn't trust him yet, and a story that feels colder, angrier, and way more personal than it gets credit for. So if you skipped Origins, or wrote it off years ago, maybe it's time to go back. Play it without the expectations. Play it without the internet telling you what to think. Because when you look at the Arkham series as a whole, not just a trilogy, but a full journey, it's clear that Gotham's story wouldn't feel complete without it. And if we're keeping it real, that's why Arkham Origins will always be canon to me. And once again, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And let me know in the comments where you rank Arkham Origins. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.